Yeah, so it's always you end up using the old tools after not adjusting to the new ones properly. Yeah, so I checked your homework. I think you learned the phrases pretty well. I was really impressed. Of course, the tool, that word wall, what I warned you about is that I tried to include as many correct answers as possible, but then my students outthink me, and then it has even more. So if you said mano vardas yra, mano pavardė yra, so like the full with the yra, that was not a mistake, even though it marked as incorrect. Yeah, but generally everything was pretty, it was good. And yeah, so like I thought we will start with repeating what we learned the previous lesson. This time we will, okay, this is not speaking cards. Okay, this one. Yeah, so this time I thought we will learn to... Okay. Okay. So this is Alexei. We have a new student, by the way. Alexei, do you want to introduce yourself? Ar nori prisistatyti is the word. Prisistatyti. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. And how do you say I'm Russian in Lithuanian? Because we studied that. Rusas. Rusas. If you say you're in Russia, if you say Russia, yeah, you don't want. Mm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm. Yeah. You can actually say the ethnicities, and I can say what they're called in Lithuanian. Unless it's something like I have not heard of, but yeah, it could be like you could say aš turiu. Well, we'll study today how to say I speak this language, and that will be useful. But you could say aš turiu. Let's say I am thinking lietuviško kraujo, like I have some Latvian ancestry. Kraujas is blood. That's our loan word from Slavic. Yeah, so in that case you just say aš turiu, like this kind of like, and then you name those ethnicities that you have. Yeah, okay. But now let's practice with other people, but now I just realized that maybe others should introduce themselves to Alexei, and we learned last lesson how to introduce. So, kas nori prisistatyti? Who wants to introduce themselves? Oscars, I see you there in the corner. Gerai. Anton or Andres? Taip, ir Anton. Are there with us? Labas. Taip, aš esu Baltarusis, yeah, and that's fine. That's fine. That's enough. Aš esu Anton, aš esu Baltarusis. You can also add, aš esu studentas, yeah. I'm learning here, yeah. Oh, that was very beautiful, and also genitive used, amazing. Yeah, and let's try with some, we won't do many of them, but maybe like one for each. So I will spin a wheel, suk ratelį, suk į vieną pusę, that's a Lithuanian folk song. Į vieną pusę. That's like spin the little wheel, spin it to one side. Okay, so let's spin it. And Alexei, you will be the first one that you will get this character, and you will have to introduce yourself or even introduce themselves in third person, let's say. Taip. It is. Ji yra Maja, jos pavardė yra Korhonen. Yeah. Yeah. Taip. Gerai. We eliminate her. I spoke with English native speakers. This is someone non-native made this, and it's eliminate. It does sound pretty harsh. Okay, Oscars. Next one is yours. Taip. Yeah, I really liked how you excluded that jos. So we did not study in this course that. So sometimes, like, if you're like, ji yra Agne, but you don't know the, like, is it jos or jo, whatever, then you just say pavardė Kazlauskaitė. That's a perfectly normal Lithuanian introduction. Okay, then who's next? Andres? Andres? Well, you can say pavardė, Kapanadzė, but you can also say jo pavardė. Yeah. Gerai, ir Anton? Taip. Taip. Puikiai. Okay, and I will do one myself. Okay. So in the previous group, we had a Portuguese, and I had someone to ask the name. Let's say, jis yra Miguel Santos, jis yra Brazilas. And that's another way to say it in a simple way. One little tip I could give is that, and that's, I think we all do that a little bit in the beginning, especially. So we have all the other languages stored in our head, but now we're learning a new language. And so then we try to follow those other channels in our brain to say like, let's say, her name, her surname, and so on. And in that case, sometimes we can get ourselves in a trap because we think that other languages, and then we start panicking because obviously the language we're studying right now, like we're just beginning to learn, we don't have a vocabulary and the whole system there adjusted as it should be. And then you're a bit like, you feel like you're failing or something when it's not true. It's just, sometimes like it's, especially when Lithuanian, I think that it's kind of, you can measure how talkative some nation is if you can cut out words and if it would still make sense. And no one would notice anything wrong about it. So, like, for example, in Lithuanian, like, you can say just pavardė and like, it just, you just shorten a little bit and just miss out those little parts that even translators do that sometimes. You just miss out those little parts that you cannot say, and that should work. Yeah. Okay. Now for today, I will stop sharing the screen. Maybe I will also take out my AirPods because with QuickTime Player it sometimes doesn't record what students say. Okay, can you hear me? All good? Viskas gerai? Puikiai. Gerai. So now I will share the book. Taip. Yeah. So the book, antras skyrius, sėkmės knyga, it's like good luck. Yeah, so today we start the chapter that is called Čia mano draugas. Actually, I think, was it Anton, was it in Belarusian, Siabr, a friend? Yeah, so...
yes, this is Siabra.
Yeah, so Siebras, you can also say that, and you will sound very fluent because we have this as colloquialism. Čia mano Siebras. Siebras, yeah.
Siebras?
Yeah, wow. Siebras, yeah. Čia mano Siebras. It's like, this is my buddy, my pal. Yeah, so Čia mano draugas. This is my friend. And of course, what we will have to learn is how to... we will learn to ask how we are, which is a question I will start asking you every lesson now. And of course, we will all politely say gerai, even though like I teach my students to, and they usually say šiaip sau, which is like nye, or neblogai, so we can be honest and it's good for the language. Yeah, let's see how we will do, but my plan for today is like these phrases. So, kaip sekasi, ačiū gerai, o kaip jums, tau, puikiai, labai gerai, šiaip sau, we will talk about this. And then these, what languages you speak. Ar tu supranti lietuviškai, and so on. And then where we are from, let's see how the time goes. Okay, so first phrase, kaip sekasi. Kaip sekasi. So, how are you? Kaip sekasi. Kaip sekasi. How are you? Again, you can repeat yourselves with mics off if you feel shy. All good. Yeah, and kaip sekasi, people may ask kaip tu, like how are you doing? Kaip tu. Another way to ask kaip gyveni, like how's life? Yeah, so kaip sekasi, and there are many answers. Ačiū gerai. Thanks, I'm fine. Puikiai is excellent. Puikiai, excellent. Labai gerai, very good. Labai gerai. Then šiaip sau is like not too bad, but it's also not too good. but if you want to opt for a more neutral one, you would say neblogai. And I would say that's the standard Lithuanian answer. It's like, it's 50-50. 50 and 50. 50-50. 50 and 50. And then, of course, blogai. And like, that's like bad. You can also say labai blogai if it's bad. Very bad. I sometimes, when I had the office job in corporate, I really, that was, of course, we imported that from American culture, where you ask, how are you, like casually, like they don't want your answer, they just ask that. And then I sometimes would catch people off guard with pakenčiamai, which is like, one can suffer through this. And then people would stop asking. Yeah. So, yeah, čia mano, when we introduce someone, čia mano draugas Paulius. Čia mano draugas Paulius. Or čia mano sėbras Paulius. So when we introduce someone, what we can take from this phrase, when we introduce someone, we use usually čia. Čia mano draugas Paulius. Čia Paulius. So like, here is my friend Paulius. And then malonu, aš Edvardas. Malonu, aš Edvardas. Then again, we have the genders. I think you all got everything correct when sorting those groups there. So draugas, draugė, draugas Paulius, draugė Alicija. This sounds very communist when I put them away, because that was our tovariš. We didn't import anything, we said draugas. Čia mano draugas Paulius, čia mano draugė Alicija. Draugė, draugas. So, čia mano draugė Alicija. Čia mano draugė Alicija. Malonu. Mano vardas Viktoras. Malonu. Mano vardas Viktoras. And then we get to the crucial part where we talk languages. And this, I think it's not too difficult in Lithuanian language. I will also explain how those iškai are formed. So, suprasti, supranta, suprato, are two core verbs, supranta, suprato, are two core verbs that we will talk today. And as we learned, we look at the middle one to conjugate the present tense, supranta, kalba. So here we have the question. Ar tu supranti lietuviškai? Ar tu supranti lietuviškai? Do you understand Lithuanian? Taip, truputį suprantu. Taip, truputį suprantu. So suprasti, supranta, suprato is the verb that means to understand. So, ar tu supranti lietuviškai? Do you understand Lithuanian? Taip, truputį suprantu. Yes, I understand a little bit. Truputį. Taip, truputį is a good word. It's a little bit. You can also hear people say šiek tiek. Šiek tiek. It's also truputį, another synonym. Then, ar tu kalbi angliškai? Ar tu kalbi angliškai? Ne, nekalbu. Ne, nekalbu. So, do you speak English? No, I don't speak. Yeah, and then we have this introduction, what languages I speak. Aš kalbu lietuviškai ir angliškai. Aš kalbu lietuviškai ir angliškai. Kaip jūs kalbate? O jūs? Kaip jūs kalbate? O jūs? So, what languages you speak? Generally, the question here that we're learning now, kaip tu kalbi. But if you come across a native speaker, they will probably say, why don't you ask kokia kalba tu kalbi? So this is another way to say it, but it's a case that we are not learning for now. And yeah, so kaip tu kalbi is another way to ask it. Kaip tu kalbi? Kaip jūs kalbate, o jūs? Aš kalbu portugališkai, angliškai ir truputį lietuviškai. Aš kalbu portugališkai, angliškai ir truputį lietuviškai. So you probably already noticed there's always that iškai. Latvians probably also make connection to their iski, latviski, lietuviski, and so on. So that's our version of it. Then if I explain something, I can ask you, ar aišku? Ar aišku? Is it clear? And you can say, taip aišku. Taip aišku. Yes, it's all clear, all good. And if it's not, then neaišku. Neaišku. If you feel overwhelmed, you can also say niekas neaišku. It's kind of a Lithuanian saying, man aišku, kad niekas neaišku. Man aišku, kad niekas neaišku. So it's clear to me that nothing is clear. So this is when you don't understand anything at all anymore. And these, I think, are good phrases to learn, these two, because one of them, prašom pakartoti. Prašom pakartoti. It's like, please repeat. Prašom pakartoti. You can also, of course, hear it sometimes. Like, if there's a concert, a gig of some kind, and people really liked the performance, you will hear Lithuanians chant pakartot, pakartot, pakartot. Of course, if you did not hear someone, don't do that. But like prašom pakartoti, that's the word. Pakartoti is to repeat one more time. And then prašom kalbėti lėčiau. Prašom kalbėti lėčiau. So this is when someone is like, they got very quick when they're speaking. It may happen like to native speakers, especially if, for example, you use some colloquialism and they get very excited. Oh, he is really good. Jis kalba labai gerai lietuviškai. And then people will start, speaking very, very quickly out of excitement. And then you can say, prašom kalbėti lėčiau. Prašom kalbėti lėčiau. Or it's just enough to say lėčiau. Lėčiau. Prašom lėčiau. Yeah. Yeah, so let's maybe start with this iškai. What's going on there? What is happening? I also added to our file. To our file in Google Docs. You can also find it there, a little table. How it happens, how nationalities are formed. But yeah, so how we form this. So basically this is why it's good to learn our nationalities. Because what we do is, you can see in the table, aš kalbu. So let's say, aš esu anglas. Aš esu anglas. Aš kalbu angliškai. Aš esu anglas. Aš kalbu angliškai. So what happens here is we take the root of the word. We recognize the ending, us in this case. We drop that ending and add iškai, angliškai. Another example, aš kalbu. So aš esu lietuvis or lietuvė. It doesn't matter the gender. It's just both work the same. You just drop the ending. Aš esu lietuvis, aš kalbu lietuviškai. So lietuvis, we drop is, iškai, lietuviškai. Then we have latvis. So aš esu latvis, aš esu latvis, aš kalbu latviškai. Aš kalbu latviškai. And then we have aš esu rusas, aš esu rusas, aš kalbu rusiškai. Aš kalbu rusiškai. So again, we have the root of the word, we have the ending disappears, and we add iškai. And then Lenkas, do we remember what nationality this is?
Polish.
Polish, yeah. Lenkas, aš esu Lenkas, aš kalbu lenkiškai. Again, lenk, us just disappears, and we add that iškai. The only one that is an exception, the clear exception, is Germany. German. Aš esu vokietis. I am German. But because I would guess this is because sometimes what works in languages is, if it feels like it's harmonious, like sometimes it's like, if you say vokietietiškai, it probably would sound like too much, and that's, I guess, what it solves. Vokietis, vokiškai. Vokietis, vokiškai. So we just take that vok and vokietis, vokiškai. Now let's see if we understood. And yeah, we have some exercises here. I also prepared some. Well, we will talk about ourselves, but maybe it's easier to start with others. So we have jis yra, anglas, jis kalba angliškai. Anton, can you do the other one? Jis yra baltarusis.
Jis yra baltarusis. Jis kalba baltarusiškai.
Puikiai, labai gerai. Aleksej, čekas.
Jis yra čekas, jis kalba čekiškai.
Puikiai. Oskars.
Jis yra danas, jis kalba daniškai.
Puikiai. Andrės.
Jis yra estas, jis kalba estiškai.
Taip, puikiai. Then what we have, I think, Anton again.
Jis yra ispanas, jis kalba ispaniškai.
Puikiai. Aleksej.
Atsiprašau, kalba ar kalba?
Kalba. Yeah, this is a good question. This is one of those cases when we have accentuation. So if we say kalba, we mean language. So it's a noun. Kalba. I will add the stressed sign. So this is kalba. The last syllable is stressed. But if you say kalba, aš kalbu, tu kalbi, jis jį kalba, in verb it's stable in the root of the word. Ar aišku?
Jis yra italas, jis kalba itališkai.
Puikiai. Oskars.
Jis yra japonas, jis kalba japoniškai.
Taip, puikiai. Andrės.
Jis yra kinas, jis kalba kiniškai.
Taip, puikiai. Anton.
Jis yra latvis, jis kalba kalba.
Taip, kalba.
Yeah.
Taip.
Jis kalba latviškai.
Taip. Then who's next? Aleksej.
Jis yra lenkas, jis kalba lenkiškai.
Puikiai. Then we have jis yra lietuvis, so that's Oskar.
Jis yra lietuvis, jis kalba lietuviškai.
Taip. Andrės.
Jis yra portugalas, jis kalba portugališkai.
Taip, puikiai. Anton.
Jis yra prancūzas, jis kalba prancūziškai.
Taip, Aleksej.
Jis yra rusas, jis kalba rusiškai.
Taip, puikiai. Andrės.
Jis yra suomis, jis kalba suomiškai.
Taip. Then we have Anton again.
Jis yra švedas, jis kalba švediškai.
Taip, puikiai. Aleksej.
Jis yra turkas, jis kalba turkiškai.
Puikiai. Oskars.
Jis yra ukrainietis, jis kalba ukrainietiškai.
Taip.
Kaip pasakai?
Ukrainietiškai.
Ukrainietiškai.
Taip, puikiai. Then Andrės.
Jis yra vengras, jis kalba vengriškai.
And then we have the exception. Vokietis, vokiškai. Vokietis, vokiškai. Taip, labai gerai. Then we have this little table. So we have countries, we have nationalities, and we have the languages. So, Portugalija. Anton, where would you put it? I will write the names for the table. So, šalis, country, nationality.
Portugalija.
Taip, nationality would be, let's say, tautybė or pilietybė. Pilietybė would be the one that's like citizenship. Nationality and language. Kalba. Language. Okay. Kas yra Portugalija?
Portugalija yra šalis.
Taip, puikiai. Aleksej, kas yra lietuvė?
Lietuvė yra tautybė.
Taip. Oskar.
Taip. Moterinis.
Moteris, taip. Kas yra Lietuva? Oskar?
Šalis.
Taip, šalis. Andrėjas, lietuviškai?
Lietuviškai yra kalba.
Kas yra Rusė, Anton?
Rusija yra pilietybė.
Taip. Citizenship, yeah, pilietybė is like citizenship. It derives from word pilis, castle. So like, which castle you belong to is the one that you have passport of. Aleksej, latviškai. Kas yra latviškai?
O latviškai yra kalba.
Taip, puikiai. Who was next? Andrėjas, lietuvis. Kas yra lietuvis?
Lietuvis yra tautybė.
Kanadietis, Oskar.
Kanadietis yra tautybė.
Taip. Lenkiškai, Anton.
Lenkiškai yra kalba.
Taip. Vokietija, Aleksej.
Vokietija yra šalis.
Taip. Brazilė. Kas yra Brazilė, Anton?
Brazilija yra pilietybė.
Taip. Suomija. Kas yra Suomija, Andrės?
Suomija yra šalis.
Taip. Oskar, kas yra Norvegija?
Norvegija yra tautybė.
Angliškai, kas yra angliškai, Aleksej?
Angliškai yra kalba.
Taip. Kas yra Ispanė? Oskar?
Ispanė yra tautybė.
Taip. Kinas, kas yra kinas, Anton?
Kinas yra tautybė.
Ir kinė, kas yra kinė, Aleksej?
Kinė yra tautybė.
Izraelis, kas yra Izraelis, Andrės?
Izraelis yra šalis.
Taip. Yeah, I think you understood this one. It's not too difficult. Or do you have any questions? Ar turite klausimų?
Yes. So when I say like rusiškai, so aš kalbu rusiškai, vokiškai, but if it's just like nominative, in nominative, like I say, it's still rusiškai, like I is not some kind of ending.
No, it's always like that. So we can, I think it's a good idea. So we have those verbs kalbėti, kalba, kalbėjo, and suprasti, supranta, suprato. Let's try to conjugate them and we will see how it works, okay? So let's say, do you remember the rule of conjugation? The brain rot cat. So U, I, I are the first endings. And then we have a, we add the a or ma, and third person is always the same. So there's no, that's my favorite rule about Baltic languages, that the third person is always the same, plural, singular, yeah. So let's say, aš kalbu lietuviškai. Can you repeat after me? Aš kalbu lietuviškai. Aš kalbu
lietuviškai. Aš kalbu lietuviškai.
Taip. Tu kalbi lietuviškai. Tu kalbi lietuviškai. Jis, ji kalba lietuviškai. Jis, ji kalba lietuviškai. Then mes kalbame lietuviškai. Mes kalbame lietuviškai. Jūs kalbate lietuviškai. Jūs kalbate lietuviškai. And then jie, jos kalba lietuviškai. Jie, jos kalba lietuviškai. So it's always the same. But now that we're here, let's do the same with suprasti, supranta, suprato. So we have supranta, that's the middle word, and that's why we conjugate it when we use present tense. So let's say, aš suprantu angliškai. Aš suprantu angliškai. Tu supranti angliškai. Tu supranti angliškai. Jis, ji supranta angliškai. Mes suprantame angliškai. Mes suprantame angliškai. Jūs suprantate angliškai. Jie, jos supranta angliškai. So that angliškai, lietuviškai, rusiškai, prancūziškai, this is adverb and it's always the same. Unless it's like graduating, but we are not learning that. But that one, even in that case, it does not have any, let's say, well, it's an adverb, so it does not have really much of a relation other than like semantic, like by meaning. It's gonna stay the same. It's like yes, mes, jos, and whatever happens, it stays the same there. Ar atsakiau? Ar aišku? Ar aišku, Alexei?
Ar aišku? This is?
It is. Is it clear? Is it clear?
Yeah. I'm just thinking like let's say I hear something on the street. I walk with my friend, and I tell him šita yra. So I'm telling him that this is that speech. Šita yra lietuviškai.
That's the yeah. Yeah, it's a bit different in this.
Since it's adverb, probably no, right?
No, it's not. You could say jie kalba, you know, let's say jie kalba, I don't know, serbiškai or so on, or something like that.
Yeah.
But if you, I understand what you mean. Like, for example, our language, lietuvių kalbos kursas, this is what you want to know.
Yeah.
So when you want to say language, so kalbos. So that way, this is a bit ahead, but it's basically plural of nationality. Genitive plural. Genitive plural is one of my favorite declinations in Lithuanian language because it always ends with that u, crying u in the end. So lietuvių kalba, rusų kalba, latvių kalba, baltarusių kalba. So it's always u. Lietuvių kalba, rusų kalba, bulgarų kalba, and so on. It's always that u in the end. So that's what you say.
Yeah. And so if we're talking about the construction of the word, let's say serbiškai, so Serbi, I guess, is a root, eške is suffix, and a is an extra suffix that makes it adverb, or how does it work? Or eške is a whole suffix that makes it adverb?
Iškai. Serbiškai.
Iškai.
Yeah,
Iškai,
but
iškai.
yeah, but if you want,
it's a big suffix that makes it adverb, right?
Let me think right now. I would say, like, if you, it helps you to think of it as a whole. I would say it's two suffixes, but it helps you to think of the whole, because basically, yeah, if you want to like know which part to like decline or negate, that would be definitely from the noun serbas, serbe. So serbu kalba. Let's say serbų tarmė dialectus or something like that. So it's that one. It's not iškai, the one that you need to like construct something more advanced. Is it clear now?
Yeah.
Ar aišku? Gerai, puikiai. Now let's move to dialogues, and in the dialogues we are being awaited by a new case, but don't worry, it's nothing very scary there. It's not genitive, by the way. So let's first read the dialogue, see how language flows in this particular topic, and then I will explain you that case. So for example, we know Andrius, but somehow it's Andriau. Ponas, ponė, Karstenai, Karstenas, ponė, Agnė, and so on. Okay, but let's first start with the dialogue. So, Alexei, and you will be Andrius, and Andreas will be Rūta.
Labas, Rūta. Kaip sekasi?
Ačiū, Andra. Gerai. O tau?
Ačiū. Taip pat gerai.
Oskar ir Anton. Oskar, tu būsi Tomas, Agnė bus Anton. Oskars Tomas, Anton Agnė.
Ai, atsiprašau, Microsoft. Kaip jums sekasi, ponia Agnė?
Ačiū, ponia Tomai. Gerai.
Atsiprašau, kas yra ponia?
Oh, yeah. So this is our borrowing from Poles. Ponas ir ponia. Kungs un kundze. So Mrs. and Mr. Yeah, and if you want to say panelė, that it's like lady. Yeah. Ponas ir ponai ir ponios. This is like every grand event opening. Ponai ir ponios. Maybe we don't use it as much. Like, for example, in some languages, I've noticed that if you take a metro or a tram or a train, then they will address people in that, like, ladies and gentlemen. In Lithuania, we just say, like, gerbiami keleiviai. So, like, dear passengers. But yeah, ponai ir ponios. Ponas is Mr. Ponas Oskars Liukis. And ponė, panelė. So these are Mr., Mrs., yeah. It's not very common to use those if addressing people. I would say if a Lithuanian is passive-aggressive, then it can come out. Like ponas, for example, ponas Antanas in Lithuanian. That's like Anton lietuviškai, Antanas. That's a bit old name in Lithuanian that, it's like respectful way of speaking about someone elderly. Like this is like ponas Antanas. But if you say, Anton, taip.
This is Antanas or Antanas?
Antanas, yeah. Antonas is like if someone's Lithuanizing a foreign name.
Yeah, I know, but as I know, it sounds like Antanas, like a
Antanas. It's an O, a long A, yeah.
Okay.
It's that thing in Lithuanian that if you have Barbara, let's say, Barbora, we are really obsessed with that O, and somehow I noticed, I still cannot track how that happens. I think it's when it's like some, that change, O and A. Can happen a lot. Yeah, but ponas Antanas, if you speak about elderly gentlemen and you're respectful. But if someone, like, for example, in comments, there are people fighting and someone would say ponas or ponė, then it's probably being a bit, like, already sarcastic. And if tamsta comes out, then it's, oh my god. This is like pan, pani, like in Polish they say sometimes. To me it sounds always a bit rude and cold, because in Lithuanian that's where it derives at tamsta. Ar tamsta nenori užleisti? Like tamsta. Like, does the sir not want to let me go first or something like that? So that's sort of like when it's overly polite out of context, and yeah. I derailed it a little bit, but I just really want you to grasp all the context that can appear with these words. But yeah, ponas ir ponia. So ponas is Mr. ir ponia yra Mrs.
Yeah, I didn't catch what is tamsta and what is užesti.
Užleisti is like, for example, if you're standing in a queue, you're queuing. like and someone behind you, they rush more, or let's say they have a one item at the cashiers, and it would make sense, they're not going to take a lot of time of yours. So then you say, ar galite užleisti? Can you like let me go first? Užleisti. Or for example, if it's someone's on the bus, right, and there's an elderly person, and like, ar galite užleisti? Can you let me sit? So it's kind of like, let your spot be taken. And as for tamsta, it's this old archaic way of saying Mr. It's used usually with the third person. So, but tamsta is like a bit like, it's archaic, and if it appears, it can be either in some, I don't know, slang, or it sometimes can be passive aggressive.
Wait, but what is tamsti? So
that was a typo.
Okay. Gerai.
Yeah, there's
so
muzikos
for the... and is there an analog for...
No, that's gender neutral. That's tamsta.
Gender neutral, okay.
Yeah. And if they say tamstelė, that would be diminutive, tamstelė. And the Lithuanians are obsessed with the diminutives, and sometimes they can be used as a sharp tool. Yeah. Okay. So where did we stop? It was, I think, the third one, trečias, that we have to do now. Okay, Andrės, you will be administratorė, ir Oskars will be Karstenas.
Iš kur jūs esate? Ponė?
Ponė?
Ponė Karstenai.
Aš esu iš Vokietijos.
Iš Berlyno?
Ne, iš Frankfurto.
Then Alexei will be Valeria, and Anton, you will be Tomas.
Aš esu iš Ukrainos, iš Kijevo. Iš kur tu esi, Tomai?
Aš iš Amerikos, iš New Yorko.
Yeah, so sometimes, as you can see, you can miss out that to be Lithuanian. Aš iš Amerikos, not aš esu iš Amerikos, it's no biggie. Then we have penktas. Oskar, you will be Valentina, ir Andrės, you will be Viktoras.
Valentina, ar jūs esate iš Ispanijos?
Ne, Viktorai, aš esu iš Italijos.
Iš Romos?
Ne, iš Veronos.
Yeah, so we have here the genitive, but I want you to pay attention for now to Viktorai, Karstenai, Karstenas, Viktoras. Any idea what is happening here?
It's how... I don't know the English term for it, actually.
Yeah?
It's a special case,
Yeah?
which is not present in many languages, but it's saved in Lithuanian. It's when you call someone.
Yeah.
So, I don't remember the name for it.
Yeah.
So how is this case called when you call someone?
Vocative case.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. So yeah, this is that case that is happening here. And maybe let's skip the 6. And Anton, you will be dėstytojas. Alexei, you will be studentas.
Ar jūs kalbate lietuviškai?
Taip, truputį kalbu lietuviškai.
Then Ignas. Ignas will be Oskars. Oskar, you will be Ignas. And Andrės, you will be Viktorija.
Aš kalbu lietuviškai, rusiškai ir angliškai. O jūs, Viktorija?
Aš kalbu angliškai, lietuviškai ir prancūziškai. Truputį. Suprantu rusiškai, bet nekalbu.
Taip, ir tada Viktorija. You will be Viktorija, Alexei, and Anton will be Lukas.
Aš kalbu rusiškai, angliškai ir truputį lietuviškai. Kaip jūs kalbate, Lukai?
Aš taip pat kalbu rusiškai ir angliškai, truputį suprantu ir lietuviškai.
Puikiai. Taip. Okay. So about this vocative case, we have a little table. I also added one in Google Docs. So it can be tricky. It can get only trickier with nouns, like not names, but just nouns. Sometimes it can be some unexpected endings. Like for example, we have this cat with exclamation tail. So laba diena, pone Jonai, ponas, pone, draugas, draugė, and so on. But with names, we have like this table that's what works. So labas rytas Tomai. Labas rytas Tomai, Tomas, Tomai, labas Pauliau, Paulius, Pauliau. So we have us changes to I, Tomas, Tomai, Igoris, Igori, Balys, Bali. Now when it comes to these two endings, so the short I and the Y, so E and E's, I like to call them as sister endings, and maybe over time you will see increasingly how similar they decline to each other. So in this case, yes, you just drop the ending, the S, but in other cases you will see that they usually adopt the same ending, so that's good to keep in mind for future. And then feminine, so this one is a dream, Emilia, Egle. So here it's a good way to train a little bit that E sound. So it's not as pronounced, but Egle. So like kind of like one of them is a bit horizontal. Egle. Like you're a bit open a bit. But it's generally, like I said, it's not too pronounced. And you have to overpronounce your E's for to, like, if you use vocative wrong for it to stand out. And then we have us, au, Paulus, Paulo, Paulus, Paulo. Any questions? Any concerns? Not yet. Okay, so we have these little exercises. Maybe it would be helpful if you had your Google Docs opened with you, or maybe I will just write them here. It changes to I, us changes to I, then is, E, is, E, then what was it? Us, O. That was E, okay, that's for these. So we have laba diena Jonai, and we have to greet all of them here. So Anton, Inga, laba diena.
Laba diena, Inga.
Taip. Aleksej, Viktorija. Laba diena.
Laba diena, Viktorija.
Taip. Oskars, Dainius.
Laba diena, Dainiau.
Yeah, this is a beautiful name. I don't know if Latvians understand. Do you understand Daina? Kas yra Daina?
Mums yra Daina.
Yeah. Yeah, so this is a song. This is a song. So Dainius is a man that sings or knows a lot of songs. And this is also a Lithuanian name. Sometimes you can meet a Lithuanian lady named Daina. Daina is like in northern Lithuania. And by the way, if you happen to stress the beginning of the word a little bit more, then that's northern Lithuanian dialect, you get there. Some teachers are very strict about standard pronunciation, but standard also changes a lot. So I say like Daina, or like in very standard way to say Daina. And that's how you would say a song. Yeah. Dainius. Daino. Aleksandras, Andrės.
Laba diena, Aleksandrai.
Taip, puikiai. Anton, Dmitrijus.
Laba diena, Dmitrijau.
Taip, Dmitrijau. Taip, Dmitrijau. Yeah, that was good. That was good. And that O does not have to be overly pronounced either. Like if you say Dmitriau, it like, unless it somehow helps you to spell. Yeah, then we have Alexei. Paulius.
Labą dieną, Pauliau.
Oskars.
Labą dieną, Ignai.
Then we have Andreas.
Labą dieną, Viktorai.
Anton.
Labą dieną, Kristijanai. Kristijanai.
Kristijanai, taip, gerai. We have this Lithuanian big writer Kristijonas, and you may meet Lithuanians that are Kristijonas Donelaitis. Kristijonas Donelaitis wrote this metai, which is like year, that's a year, but it's, in most languages, translated as seasons. And he writes there about villagers in Eastern Prussia, the Lithuanians. A good word to learn from there, and this is maybe Alexei, since you're in Palanga, maybe you have heard someone say that word, and Latvians may associate with slings. So there's a character named Slunkius, and he's the lazy villager. Slunkius. And Slunkius is a good word to call someone lazy. Like my dad, Lord bless his memory, used to say Slunkius yra mano religija. So like the lazy guy. He's, of course, because it's written by a Protestant pastor, he's slammed there. He's not the good guy because like it's always constantly the entire village doing his job for him. And he's just lazy there, you know. He just can, and then there's Plaučiūnas, another one, but that one is, he just drinks his days, and then everyone else also has to do his job for him. It's a pretty good, and it's translated in many languages, so you may come across that. Okay, then Eglė. I already lost my track whose turn it was. Kieno eilė? Kieno eilė?
Mano.
Gerai, tavo.
Aš, how would I say I think in Lithuanian?
You can say aš galvoju. Aš manau. Or man atrodo is a good one. In this case, this is the most neutral. It seems to me that it was mine. Man atrodo mano. Man atrodo.
Man atrodo man. Taip.
Yeah.
Gerai. Labą dieną, Eglė.
Taip. Then Oskar, Lukas.
Labą dieną, Lukai.
Andrės.
Labą dieną, Anatolijau.
Puikiai. Ramunė. It was, I think, Alexei again.
Labą dieną, Ramūnė.
Ir Juste, that's the, whose turn it was now? Was it Oskar? Yeah.
Mano kārta. Labą dieną, Juste.
Taip. Gerai. Does it seem scary, this case? I would say it's not the worst that we have. Definitely not the worst. Okay. Now let's go a little back. I want now to talk to you about your languages. So, okay, let me share. Let me share this. Okay, Kaip, kalba šis mokinys. So, what languages this student speaks? And I prepared this ratelis. Again, so let's see who's lucky to say first. And you can say aš kalbu, but you can also say bet suprantu. Okay, kaip kalba Alexei? Alexei.
Aš labai gerai kalbu angliškai ir rusiškai. Aš biškai kalbu ir suprantu vokiškai. Per biškai suprantu lietuviškai, biškai kalbu. Ir how would I say, like, would I say labai biškai or mažai biškai, like very little?
If you want to emphasize that, it's like really a little, like me Mauri, taip jau labai truputį. Taip jau labai truputį, like, it's just, it's like really a little bit.
Ir labai truputį aš suprantu japoniškai.
Kietai, that's like cool. kietas means like solid or hard, and that's our word for cool. Yeah, you use the word biški. And
as I understand, it's from German ein bisschen.
Yeah, bisschen, but sometimes when you hear a word, it could be from German, but I've been on this route where it seems like it's from German. For example, grösdas, like gross, grösdas, and that is from Yiddish. And sometimes those Germanic words that reached Lithuanian language.
Yeah, maybe from Yiddish. Yeah, it actually sounds more plausible, yeah.
Yeah. So grösdas is like gross, big. It's a like something, but like enormously big. Grösdas. Okay, kitas, next. Kaip kalba, Anton?
Aš kalbu gerai lenkiškai, baltarusiškai, ukrainietiškai, rusiškai, angliškai, truputį suprantu
Čekiškai.
Ir truputį suprantu lietuviškai.
Taip, well, obviously, you're learning it and it's going good, yeah. Do I understand right that Ukrainian and Belarusian are mutually intelligible? Like, you can understand each other pretty much and speak.
Yeah, especially when you're half Ukrainian.
Yeah, yeah, of course. Actually, I don't know if this is a good thing to teach, but suprasti, supranta, suprantu. In some Lithuanian dialects, people say, and I think these some Ogishans, Žemaitija, Northwest also use it. Rozumyti. Aš rozumiju, tu rozumiji. Aš nerozumiju. That's like a dialect word that they use. You may hear in slang berazumis. Any ideas what this means, berazumis?
An idiot.
Yeah, like somewhat like absolute, like I wouldn't say like an idiot, but like usually in Lithuanian language it kind of sounds harsh in the sense that it's like someone's like this kind of like crazy person, like absolutely senseless, you know. Yeah. Okay, kitas. So we have two Latvians left here. Kaip kalba Oskars?
Aš kalbu latviškai ir angliškai, truputį suprantu rusiškai ir dabar kalbu lietuviškai.
Taip, puikiai. And now, who could it be next? Andrēs.
Aš kalbu gerai latviškai ir angliškai, ir truputį vokiškai.
Vokiškai. So we have some Germanists here in the group. That's nice. I think, what do we... Like, the German loanwords are clearly German loanwords. But somehow I have not heard them used in a while. So like, Schule. Einu į šūlę, I'm going to school. That's like clearly that comes from German there. Okay. Yeah, so that's it for these two cases. And let me check once so that I do not forget anything that I prepared for you for today. It can happen. It shouldn't, but it does. Okay, so we have another exercise that I prepared for you regarding this topic. So this is kas aš esu ir kaip aš kalbu. So who I am and what languages I speak. And these are speaking cards. So, okay, let's start traditionally with Anton. Could you now say like kas aš esu ir kaip aš kalbu, using these?
Say it like Jis. Okay. Ji yra Joanas Meets. Ji yra amerikietė. Ji kalba angliškai ir truputį ispaniškai.
Puikiai. Labai gerai. Then Aleksej.
Ji yra Aistė Ivanauskaitė. Ji yra lietuvė. Ji kalba lietuviškai, angliškai ir truputį prancūziškai.
Taip, puikiai. Oskars.
Ji yra Miguel Santos, ji Brazilas ir ji kalba portugāliškai, ispaniškai ir prancūziškai.
I would say his jis, like Miguel, Brazilas, taip, Brazilas, jis. Gerai, Andrės.
Ji yra Sofija Jensen. Ji yra Danė.
Taip.
Ji kalba daniškai, norvegiškai ir švediškai.
Taip. Tada, again, Anton.
Jis yra Aleksandras. Jis yra Georgiu. Jis yra Aleksandras Georgiu. Jis yra graikas. Jis kalba graikiškai ir angliškai.
Puikiai. Then Aleksej.
Ji yra Agnė Kazlauskienė. Ji yra lietuvė. Ji kalba lietuviškai, rusiškai ir angliškai.
Yeah, there was a little Samogitian influence I heard in your pronunciation. You said Kazlauskienė, and that sounded very Samogitian to me, the Žemaitija, the northwest part. Kazlauskienė would be the standard. But this was
Kazlauskienė. I probably like this Kazlauskienė. It kind of sounds more.
It comes close home. It's like I have Samogitian relatives. Why it happens that they would sometimes be, instead of Navickas, this was my great grandparents, Navickas, they would be Navickis. And then the pronunciation would shift a little bit as well.
Wait, how do you call it? Sumagician? Because...
Yeah, that's the Latin or English term. If everyone is familiar with Žemaitija,
because that's what I'm used to.
Žemaitija. Žemaitija, yeah.
And what you're talking about is a Latvian or English term, right? Because I never heard it.
Which term?
It's the region.
Sorry?
Žemaitija is a region in Lithuania. Yeah?
Yeah, it is a region.
That's where I am, right? It's a coastal region like Palanga, Klaipėda. I think Klaipėda is part of it too, right?
Klaipėda is hard to say. It's like Mažoji Lietuva.
It's its own thing, right?
Yeah, it's a bit like it's Mažoji Lietuva, which is also it was invaded by some these Žemaitija people. But it's they are called Lietuvninkai.
And the word you used, can you repeat it again?
Samogiša. That's the term. That's the English term they usually use.
Okay.
Yeah,
because I actually never met it in English, so we'll know now.
Yeah, you will know now.
So it's literally Žemaitija, right?
Yeah, it is. It is. Yeah. Yeah. And it's this distinct speaking region. Okay, whose turn was it now? I don't remember. Was it Andre? No, okay, it was Aleksej, so now it's Oskar's. Oskar?
Taip, jis yra Zurabka Panadze.
Taip.
Jis kartvēlis, ir jis kalba kartvēliškai, ir angliškai, ir truputį vokiškai.
Yeah. Sometimes if there's too much ir in the sentence, Lithuanians may also use bei. That's also like ir, like and. That was not a... You said everything correctly. That was like a thought to... Food for thought, you know. Okay, and Andreas?
Ji yra Katarzyna.
Taip, Kovalska.
Kovalska. Katarzyna Kovalska. Jis yra Lenkė. Jis kalba lenkiškai ir angliškai.
Yeah, I would say ji. Ji. Lenkė. Yeah, it's one way, I mean, of course it takes practice, but it's one way to remember if there's like a nationality attached and there's no S in the end, then it's unlikely that it's a masculine. Unless we have like Gitanas Nausėda, and his last name looks like feminine from that perspective. Nausėda. Or like, for example, we have uncle, dede. It's also masculine, but it doesn't. But mostly, like, it will not be the case. Okay, let's see if we have more. Okay, we have done all of them. Well, then we have two options. We have, what, around 15 minutes. And either we would study that a bit of that genitive case, or we would do comic relief and learn some kitten phrases in Lithuanian. What would you choose?
What kind of phrases?
Kitten, like about cats, like Lithuanian quotes about cats. Just to see how language looks in terms. So which one would you prefer? Some more grammar or some phrases that we could learn something from?
I would go with phrases probably, since
Okay.
it's getting late. Attention span is
I
lower.
vote for catchphrases too.
Okay.
Yeah, let's continue.
Yeah, I thought actually, I was thinking of including one meme. And by the way, I will create today WhatsApp, if that works for everyone. And you can join, it's up to you. And I will be sharing memes with translations and jokes with whatever comes in, you know, whatever the algorithm blesses me with. And I think that, okay, this could work for my students for learning, you know, because basically when learning a language is also important, not that you understand everything and you are given the tools, but also that it just keeps flowing to you, you get surrounded with it, and then you don't feel that stress when you speak the language. Okay, so posakiai apie kates. So posakis is like a saying, a proverb. You can also say citatos if it's quotes. Citata is quote. And in Lithuanian, if we say like about something, we say apie. Apie kates. And this is a case we will study later, so not as much about grammar, but just about the understanding it. Okay, so we again have cards. And I will help you understand. Okay, so katė yra tarsi kambario termometras. Jei ji miega ir užima daug ploto, reiškia kambaryje šilta. O jei susisuka į kamuoliuką, šalta. Okay, so I guess there's at least one word you understand here. And that is the one that is international, thermometers.
Thermometers.
Yeah. Tarsi is like, a cat is like a room thermometer, like indoor thermometer. Tarsi is like. Sometimes tarsi, I would say it's even like you would say Kaip is like this basic level, Kaip. Then you have tarsi, it's like already more advanced language style. And you can also say it, which is like it kambario termometras, that's usually you come across in books.
Can you use them like interchangeably? Like
Yeah. They mean the
thing?
same. They mean the same. And of course, if you want to appear snobbish, you can use like some, or you could say taritum. Like it's also, so yeah, these are all interchangeable. So katė yra tarsi kambario termometras. A cat is like a thermometer for room temperature. Kambarys, I know if Latvians find this funny. Because explain to others what kambarys means in Latvian.
I think we use the same, kind of same, but it's like a room, basically.
Yeah?
Not really.
No,
It's a
I
closet.
think I have been affected by Lithuanian language already and I'm forgetting the roots.
Oh no. Because I've been under pressure, it's like some small chamber and like...
Chamber pieliekamais.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
not the correct term, but yeah.
Yeah. And then we have mokykla, which you find hilarious because it's like, well, I think in Slavic languages they also have this. It's like, it sounds like to torture someone, and that means school. Mocit. Yeah. So, okay. We have, katė yra tarsi kambario termometras, jei, or jeigu, jei, that's if. Jeigu ji miega ir užima daug ploto, if she sleeps, jei ji miega, if she sleeps, užima daug ploto, takes a lot of space, reiškia kambaryje šilta. Reiškia is a very good word. You can ask me sometimes, ką reiškia? What does it mean? So in this case, it means. Ką reiškia? It means that in this room, kambaryje šilta. In the room, it's warm in the room. Yeah. Then we have, o jei susisuka į kamuoliuką. Susisukti kamuoliuką is cute. Kamuoliukas is like this little ball. Kamuoliukas, susisukti, oh my god, I made a mistake, sorry. Susisukti į kamuoliuką, it's like, you know, curled up, basically. You can say also about people like susisukti. Susisukti kamuoliuką, it means to curl up. Then it means šalta. Tada tai reiškia, kad šalta. Then it means that it's cold. Okay, one more. And this is what we talked about, adverbs. And this is not an adverb, this is an adjective, but you could say mažiausiai, and this is net mažiausias kačiukas yra šedevras. I imagine you understand at least one word here. Šedevras. Masterpiece. Net is even. So even the smallest kitten is a masterpiece. Even the smallest kitten is a masterpiece. Net mažiausias kačiukas yra šedevras. Gerai, any curiosities here? Anything you want to ask? Okay, moving on. Man sakė, this is a good one. Man sakė, I was told, somebody told me. Man sakė, kad kačių dresiravimas yra sunkus. Kačių dresiravimas is cat training. Like dresiruoti šunį. That's to train a dog. Man sakė, kad kačių dresiravimas yra sunkus. Sunkus is like difficult or heavy in some cases. Since Alexei is in Žemaitija, he may know the word smagus. Smagus in the rest of Lithuania, it means entertaining and happy. Latvians, it's also Latvians have this antonym, like false friend. Smagus. And in the rest of Lithuania, smagus in Žemaitija, it means heavy. Okay, so I was told that cat training is difficult. And visai ne, this is like definitely not. This is also a good phrase. Definitely not. Visai ne. Visai ne, definitely not. Maniške, it's a good way to call. Maniške, maniškis. This is of my own. So maniške, you can say mano katė, but you can say maniške. Maniške ateina. Mine is coming here and asking for pets, or maybe she just heard that I'm talking cats. And she's like, why are you talking about the cat? So maniške mane išdresiravo per 2 dienas. So mine has trained me in 2 days. Per 2 dienas. So per 2 darbo dienas. something you will come across a lot if you order something, or if you file some form for an institution and they will write like some per X darbo dienas, like in this duration of time. So my cat trained me in 2 days. Another one, and this is a Lithuanian proverb, but I think it exists in many cultures. So sutinka, sutaria kaip šuo sukate. So again, you can use it like the question about kaip. You could use tarsi šuo sukate, kai tarytum šuo sukate, or it šuo sukate. Sutinka, so this means gets along as like a cat with a dog. So this is about some people that you would avoid to have in the same room. Kaip šuo sukate. Any questions? Okay, moving on. And this is another Lithuanian proverb, lietuvių posakis. If you would want to share your folklore, you could say Baltarusių, Latvių, Rusų posakis. Jeigu katės lotų, šuns nebereikėtų. Loti, loja, lojo. I think you should understand this one. This is about a dog. What does a dog do? It's to bark. Yeah, to bark. So if cats barked, this is that nebereikėtų, lotų. This is this in English it's called conditional mood. So if they would, like you would not need, I would like, and stuff like that. Jeigu katės lotų, if cats barked, šuns nebereikėtų. Nebe is a good one to learn. You would not need a dog anymore. Nebe is not anymore. You can answer sometimes, like for example, if someone asks pyksti, are you angry? And you're like nebe. And that means not anymore. Nebe. And you will see a lot of that, like nebe.
But atsiprašau, but reikia is need.
Yeah, reikėti, reikėjo. It's a bit for the future with the grammar, but yeah, reikti, man reikia. I need something. Yeah. Then, katės yra nervuoti gyvūnai, bet joms labai patinka ramybė. Nervuotas is a good word, nervuota. It's someone who's like, I would say, not neurotic, but like easy to set off. Like they get angry easily, or they're very anxious about everything. Nervuotas. Sometimes you may come across Lithuanians, like a typical Lithuanian grammar Nazi correction would be nervingas, because we have that overly standardization sometimes, and people kind of like, some people will like speak as it flows, and some people will be very anxious about these very standardisms, but everyone will see nervuotas, nervuota. A good example, ko tu tokia nervuota? Why are you so anxious? Or like, why are you so angry, like grumpy today? What's up? Kas yra? Kas tau yra? Kas tau yra? What's wrong with you? What's up? Katės yra nervuoti gyvūnai. Gyvūnas is animal. So cats are anxious animals, bet joms labai patinka ramybė. Ramybė is peace, solitude, calm. So cats are anxious, nervous animals, but they really like their peace or solitude. Yeah. Then, we had this one. Kačių pakantum. Pakantumas is a good word. A synonym for it would be tolerancija. Tolerancija. So pakantumas. It derives from word pakęsti. So basically like you have to, it's not necessary that you like something, pakantumas, but you tolerate it. Like you just get a, try to tolerate it. Ribotas, žmogaus protas. It's limited mind. Limited mind, and žmogus is human. By the way, žmona in Lithuanian, wife, used to be a feminine of human. Žmogus, human. So Ir begalinis, be galo, be galo, be krašto. Begalinis is endless. Be galo, be krašto. That's a common like saying, like be galo, be krašto. It's like if you want to say that something's like really endless. If you describe an action, for example. Yeah. Okay, so cat tolerance for this limited human mind is endless. Kačių pakantumas ribotam žmogaus protui begalinis. Yeah. And of course, there's a lot of grammar that we will learn. It's a bit early for us, like dative. Dative is in Lithuanian language is a bit, it likes to pop up here and there, but it's like, or it has very specific phrases where it appears, but yeah. Okay. So that is it for today. How did we like today's lesson? How do we feel?
Labai gerai.
Puikiai.
Labai gerai, taip.
Liuksas. Šitas čia yra liuksas. But if you say nuksas, then it means that it's like a flop or something. Nuksas, like. But yeah, luksas. Luksas. Okay.
Wait, luksas, is it like directly from like? Or what? Or
it's hard to say where it comes from. I have no idea. I have no idea if Lux Express has anything to do with the word either. But yeah, it's like luksas is just what we call this. It appeared before like even. It's like older. Like for example, I remember you would make an agreement with someone like, or you are agreeing when to meet each other and stuff. And then you would be like, luksas. And that's like, tai gerai. Okay, works for me, luksas. Okay, so I will share homework for you pretty shortly, and I will also explain it in the email. I also create a WhatsApp chat where you can join and get some content. Sometimes daily, sometimes more than daily, sometimes rarer. Like I said, it depends on the algorithm and what I get served. But yeah, so ačiū už pamoką. Thanks for the lesson. Ir iki.
Iki.
Ačiū. Iki.
Ačiū Jums.
Iki.
Ačiū. Iki.